Xin chào, this is Mark and Mandy again from Vietnam, the Trippin' family. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to kind of tell you today what made us do what we're doing, why we decided to travel. We're going to go into some aspects of what we've learned during travel, expectations versus reality, a little bit about our budgeting, and just going to kind of go from there. We're going to have a little free talk today.
So we know it's been a while since we sat down and talked to you guys. We've had a lot of adventures along the way. We're entering month 7 of our travels since we left the United States, and we wanted to just give you an update and answer a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions come through, and we wanted to give you some answers to those questions. So in case you want to do this one day, and so you can start planning for your adventures now.
So number 1, why did we decide to do this?
Why in the world would we quit our jobs at the height of our careers to retire early and travel the world?
Back when COVID hit, we had a lot of free time on our hands like everyone did, and we started watching some YouTube videos of people traveling, and they were telling these crazy stories about living on $1,500 on these beautiful islands, $2,000 on these beautiful islands, and we were like, that sounds pretty good to us. So we were spending 2-3 times that amount for a week vacation in Mexico and then being stressed out the whole time about work anyway. So we started planning this about 2020, and then we decided we went on a cruise. And Mandy tore her hamstring, and that really set us back.
And that really made us realize, along with my dad died when I was 19, and he was only 42 years old. So when I hit 42, it really made me realize how young he was and that we're not promised life tomorrow. But when I tore my hamstring, it really made me realize that we're not promised our health tomorrow either. So we didn't want to be waiting until we are too old and too unhealthy to travel and enjoy our experiences to be able to do that. So if we could find a way to make it work while we're young and healthy and be able to have those experiences now, that's what we were going to do.
So we started investing money in 2020 for the sole reason of doing this. We were originally thinking it was going to be 2027, 2028 before we would do this. But then the hamstring happened. I had a buddy die at 53 that I used to work with. It kind of got me to thinking, because I'm 53. And we just decided, let's just go for it.
Yeah. So we really did a lot of calculating. Like, we looked at how much it would cost. We literally had spreadsheets of how much we were putting out every month in the United States to keep the house, to pay the bills, going to work, how much we had in retirement, how long it was going to take Mark to hit retirement, how long it was going to take me to hit retirement, how much we could afford to put away each month to save up to do this. We also had some side hustles. If you know us, we Airbnb'd our house. We cooked meal preps on the weekends. We did a lot that we just put away for this. We have some investments that we haven't touched either. So we had some things going on in the background to save up for this, to be able to do this. We weren't initially going to sell our house. We were going to continue to Airbnb it, but there were some issues with Airbnb and managing it from afar that we just weren't comfortable with. So we ended up selling our house and putting that money into investments. So basically, we are living off of that interest money. Mark will hit retirement in 9.
No, I could do it in 9 years. Yeah.
8-9 years. I'll hit retirement about 7 years after that. But we are not banking on that money. We are not taking that money out. We're solely living off the interest, which is about $2,000 to $2,500 a month is what we are living off of. And so to do that, basically what we're doing is finding accommodations that are within the range that we can afford. And then we're living off about $30 a day for eating.
Yeah, we're averaging about $30 a day for eating and transportation. Some days it might be a little bit more. Some days it's a lot less.
Now, here in Vietnam right now, we're currently cooking everything at home, and we're averaging between $12 and $15 a day. So we know that for these 2 months, because we just went on a cruise, which was over our budget, that we are compensating for what we spent last month. So there is some give and take. It's not strictly every day, but it's kind of a balance there that per year we're not going over what we're bringing in our income because we are not going to dip into our savings by any means.
No. So you kind of have to plan ahead for this, and everybody knows their own finances. We can't tell you how to really plan ahead for it. Get some side hustles going, and once you feel comfortable with you have, $30,000 a year coming in or so, you should be good to go.
The thing is, at home, we also cut back when we were at home. We didn't go out to eat a lot. We really cut back on what we were doing. It wasn't like we were going out and doing extravagant things at home. This money, we always said, if we could go spend $100 on going out to eat or $50 here, that money could go so much further when we do get to travel. And that was kind of the mentality we had to change when we were home.
Yeah, so we were putting a lot of money into CDs for a few years, and interest rates were great on that. And so, just like she said, we would weigh it out. Oh God, $100 to go get sushi. Shoot, it's a week of eating over in Vietnam or Thailand. So let's just put it into savings, and we'll worry about it later.
So that's really how we do our budget. And if you have any more in-depth questions, we will be offering subscriptions soon, and we will be doing more lives, and you can ask us questions on our lives if you subscribe to our channel. That will be once we get monetized, which won't be long from now. And then you can also, we'll be sending out, specific videos on that too. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Make sure you subscribe to our special subscription when we get that. And then you can get more information, and we can answer your questions one-on-one as well.
Yeah, we'll do some one-on-one counseling, as she's saying here. So we've had a lot of people ask us, how did you pick where you were going to go first? Lots of research. We started looking at the price of living in different countries. We were actually thinking of Mexico, Central America first. And I don't know, some, safety issues down there seem to be in play a lot of times when I would do the research. And then we kind of stumbled on Asia. We'd already been looking at Thailand and Vietnam. We were really looking at Thailand. But then we started looking at Vietnam, and I found some really cool places here, and the price was just unbelievable. The first place we stayed was under $450 a month in Phu Quoc, where we are currently again. We are paying $700 this month for the same accommodation, so the price has risen a little bit, but this is the high season here, so you kind of have to hit them on the high season in between rainy seasons. But the main reason we picked Asia is it's cheap.
Yeah.
You really can go out here and eat for $3, $4. You can also go out and eat for $100, just like you can back home. I mean, it's a wide, varied range here. You got your night markets versus really nice restaurants. We're sitting at a restaurant here on the beach that you're probably looking at $8 to $10 a person to eat. We're not eating here. We're just hanging out at the table. But yeah, you can find what you're looking for as far as food goes. There's Western food. There's, obviously tons of Asian food and noodles and rice. But that's kind of how we ended up over here in Asia, and we really enjoyed Asia.
Yeah, it's been lovely. It's clean for the most part in the tourist areas. Of course, you have all the areas just like you have back home. There's areas you don't want to go, and then there's clean areas that are just cleaner than even in America. I've never seen someone bleach a sidewalk before. I'll just put it that way. And we saw that over here in Vietnam. So,
but you can find the down and dirty as well, just like the bad areas of New York or anywhere else that you've seen in America. Sort of the expectations versus reality. When you're watching everybody's YouTube videos, they're only showing you the gorgeous islands, the boats, the snorkeling, and
none of the trash on the beach. They're not showing you that part. The other thing we learned, expectations versus reality, was that a lot of the people we watched are traveling as a couple. So they are budgeting on $1,500 a month. Of course they are, because they can get a studio apartment. Mark and I can't do that with Cambry. We need a two-bedroom. We tried a one-bedroom with a fold-out sofa, and that happened to be over Christmas in Thailand, and that was because we wanted to stay on our budget because it was Christmas. And we could have been on our budget with a two-bedroom, but we wanted to be able to spend a little bit extra for Christmas for Cambry. It just was too crowded, and
not enough room.
It wasn't enough room. So we know that we had to increase our budget for our accommodations based off of what we were watching on YouTube, because most of the people we were watching were telling what their spending on accommodations were couples that were staying in studios.
Yeah, and if you're a couple, you really can find some superb places on beaches for $350 a month. They are out there all over the place. 2 bedrooms. I mean, you're looking almost double. We have found some good deals for like $550, $600. But yeah, and the couples, you guys got it made. We say that all the time. Like, oh my gosh, I just found this wonderful place, and it is only $350. Look at this view. But it's a give or take situation. So accommodations, I usually go through Airbnb, Booking.com, Facebook, but mostly it's Airbnb. The reason I like Airbnb is you have guarantees and some insurances there that if there is a problem when you go, look back, you'll see the Airbnb nightmare video we did. We at least were able to get out of that quickly. If we're doing this privately with somebody else, the hassle's going to be there. Some of the people you deal with, 90% of people here are super cool. They're super nice. But it's just like anywhere else. 10% are out to get you and out to scam you. So you really got to kind of worry about that. And so we kind of chose to do Airbnbs. Probably paying a little bit more doing the Airbnb, but we also feel like when we get there, we're going to get what we're paying for.
Also, you can get additional insurance through Airbnb, which covers you, what is it, 50?
It's an extra $50,000 for emergency medical services per person, things like that. If you have a scooter accident or something like that.
Which we're not going to have any scooter accidents because we've already been there and done that. No injuries were obtained.
Yeah, we don't ride the scooters.
So we do that for those purposes, but that's included in our budget as well. So another thing is we thought that the language was going to be a huge barrier, but it is not. Google Translate is fabulous. We haven't had any problems using Google Translate. The only problem is if someone doesn't want to communicate with you. So we haven't really run into that very often.
But they make that well known very quickly.
Yes.
So you
just move on and find someone else to talk to.
One of the biggest surprises I've seen here is when you go in line at the grocery store, there's really not a line. It's more of a suggestion. We've had people bump us out of the way. They'll get right in front of us and put their stuff right up on the little table to pay for the things. We've seen one guy walk around 10 people to the end of the grocery thing, put all his stuff down and paid for before everybody else. So people don't know how to line up here. And that is universal in Thailand and Vietnam. And you can go look at other people's posts. They will say the same thing. And that was kind of a big shock and kind of
frustrating.
It pisses you off the first couple of times.
It does.
And you just kind of, what are you going to do? We're in their country, so.
And, it's just like we're not in a hurry to be anywhere. You kind of have to take that American attitude out of you, I guess. Like, whoo, okay, we're not in a hurry to be anywhere. Keep your mouth shut, Mandy. Let's just move on. It's just one person.
Phone issues. You make sure you get your phone set when you first get to an airport in any country you land in, Asia, Mexico, I don't care where you're at. Take that 5 minutes to go, and it's going to cost you $2 or $3 more than everybody tells you it's going to be at 7-Eleven. But they know what they're doing. You're in and out in 5 minutes. You'll get a phone number for that country, and your phone will work for 30 to 90 days. Every time we have not done that, we have had an issue with our cards, our SIM cards, every time.
Yeah.
They'll work for a few days, then they won't work anymore. The data will run out. They'll tell you you're getting a phone number. You'll have no phone number, so then you can't order things. That's my biggest advice is get your phone set up in the airport the minute you land. Yeah. If you have to plan your trip around, getting there early to do that, it's going to be worth it for you. That's the biggest advice I would give you out of this whole video, honestly.
Yeah, most certainly.
Some of the things you're going to find here, like we love to eat chicken and ground beef. You're going to have to give a little on those things. The first time we went through Wok, we had a hard time finding chicken breasts. We try to stay in decent shape, and we really didn't find any here. So we were pretty much living on pho and everything else local. So this time we've been lucky enough the grocery store has chicken breast, and they have it's at a great price. So we've been eating chicken about every day. We do a lot of eggs here. Luckily for us over here, our egg prices are, they're dirt cheap. 10 eggs here is about $1.
Yes.
We eat a ton of eggs, egg salads. So we do a ton more cooking just because we're trying to eat healthy, and it just makes us feel better.
Yeah, and a lot of things, most things here have noodles and rice and things like that. So we try to cook at home. just so that we can eat healthy. So we go to the local farmers market because the grocery stores are a lot more expensive. I mean,
Double the price.
it's still cheap. Don't get me wrong. It's still inexpensive, but you can walk to the farmers market, take a grab to the farmers market, and you can get much better deals on your produce, your eggs, and things like that. So that's what we do. And then we get our meat from the grocery store. And it's incredible prices. Like I said, we're eating $12 to $15 all 3 meals, all three of us a day. That's it. That's all we're paying to eat per day. And we're not starving. We're eating bacon, eggs, toast for breakfast, chicken salad, and fruit, all kinds of fruit.
Watermelon, pineapple, mangoes, bananas, oranges, just
chicken breast, okra, carrots, bok choy, all kinds of vegetables for dinner with rice. It's just incredible. So we're not cutting back or skimping on what we're eating at home by any means. We're eating very well for that price.
you could very well go out and eat every meal as well here for, and you'd probably spend $20 a day. But protein
It's
harder to find. And they'll put a little bit of chicken, a little bit of beef, and we lift weights and we try to go to the gym, and you got to have that protein. So they really love the carbs over here.
Ladies, one thing I have noticed is that the feminine products here you cannot find. It is very difficult to find anything but pads here. So once you find your specific product, you're going to want to stock up on those, because I will have Mark running around to every convenience store and every grocery store trying to find my specific product. So that was a real shock.
And they only have one type of tampon here that she likes to use. The rest without the applicator. I've learned a lot here.
Yeah. He's an expert now.
I'm in a lot of stores, let me tell you. And it's about $2 for a box. And so we just generally buy, several boxes of them and have them stuffed in our suitcases, so you don't run into that problem in the next place until you find it. You can find it, but not every store seems to have it. I guess Asian people, their Asian culture, they use a lot of pads here because there's 50 selections of pads. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I've learned more than I wanted to learn.
That's a good man right there. So
prescription medication here. No. Man, don't even bring your prescription. You just go buy your high blood pressure medicine. You can buy your statins. You can buy antibiotics. You just walk into the pharmacy, question or two to the pharmacist, you're in and out. And they are dirt cheap.
Much cheaper than what you're paying for your copay back home.
Same blister pack you see in the United States, same manufacturers. This ain't no crap being done over in China.
No, it's not in a bottle with a label like we have it. It's actually in the manufacturer's box in the blister packs. It is specifically labeled. There's no question about it. So
I mean, you're really only paying for a month's supply, maybe $3 or $4. Yeah. It's crazy. Going to the doctor here, incredibly cheap. We've not had to go to the doctor, but we've had friends go, and they'll tell us they'll get an x-ray and everything. They might pay $80, $90 for the whole deal, in and out, no insurance.
I think an MRI is like $100, $150.
Yeah,
that's
our buddy had to have an MRI on his shoulder, and it was $150. In America, will the copay even do that? I doubt it. So yeah, medical care here is good. We did get vaccinations in one of the hospitals. It's super clean. We would have no problem going to the hospitals here.
No, not at all. So those are kind of the highlights we have for this video. We have a lot more videos coming up now that we're kind of stationary, not on a cruise ship and not traveling around a whole lot. We'll be here in Vietnam for a while longer, at least what?
We're here for about another 5 weeks, and then we'll got a new location.
Got a new location coming up.
Show different country.
A new country.
Been to yet, so
brand new location we're going to in about 5 weeks from now. We'll keep you all tuned in to that, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Keep watching our videos and put some more questions in the comment, because we've got more videos to do for you guys. If you have any other questions about it, like homeschooling Cambry, that's going to be on one of our upcoming videos. And how that's going. It's going well, by the way. But
took a while, but we're there now.
Took us a while to get in the routine, but we're here. She's doing very good. But we have all more questions coming up, and anything else you have to ask us, put in the comments here. And be sure to share our videos, like our videos, because that really helps push us up in the algorithm. And
be weird.
It's more fun.